Now, as I was saying before, we have two tables here, okay? And I just want you to understand we were talking about relationships, and we were talking about that since CSS. We were saying how we did parents and children and everything like that, and we were saying how if we wanted to make another class that extends from this class, we could do that with extends, and it would inherit all the different factors here, all the different identifiers, tables, whatever else we can. Tables here in databases do that too. Now, I wouldn't really want to link users with testing, but let's just say for the sake of argument that testing like this image or this price or whatever was actually linked to this particular table. Or we could, if we wanted, link it to this particular table. When it comes to MySQL, again, the concepts are very much related to PHP in itself. And that's what PHP is built on. It's built on making sites and doing the back-end aspects of websites. So one thing that PHP also makes a little bit easier for you is to link tables or join tables. Now with tables, databases, and tables and databases, I should say, there are, let me say, there are a few or several different ways of joining tables. There's just a regular join, there's a left join, and a right join. So there's actually three, I believe. Oh no, and then there's an inner join. What that means is that you can link tables with related or relatable rows. Now here, by just some dumb luck, we have a username here and a username here. And what we can do is we can sort of, when we create, well, I really wouldn't want to do it this way where we create this crap because this is just junk. But what we could do is, if we wanted to, we could create an entry here, and then based on the entry here, automatically put an entry here. We could also gather information from here, and then at the same time gather information from here in just one line, one SQL query. And the way it works is it's called an inner join. Now, there's nothing in the users page or the users table, but you can select, you can do something like select all from users, where, and let me just make sure I got the syntax right. MySQL join. Again, I was spoiled. I did all this stuff with, frameworks and everything like that. But if you look here, like, instead of where, you would tell it inner join and on. I don't know why this thing locks up my inner join. And let me just make sure I got the syntax right. Inner join, testing. Now, we're not going to come up with anything, but it's going to be blank. So, and we could say on, well, there's inner left, right. So there's inner left, cross and self. I don't know. We can look at that later. But inner left, right. And there are let me just say MySQL joins. There are maps that show you kind of how they work. I don't know if it's going to do it here, but I want to just kind of give you an illustration of how it works. Let's just do it like this. Okay, so the way it works is that I want to show you that there's a difference between all of them. And I just want to give you like sort of a diagram. I don't make diagrams. I just go on the internet and copy everybody else's. But let me see. Okay, they don't really have that. There it is. Okay. So if you were to do an inner join, you would more or less take whatever matches between the two. So you would only get like the specific rows that match. So you see how like these IDs match or these names match or whatever, you would only be getting those. If you were to do a left join, it would be more towards the one on the left side. You would get all the data here and just kind of match it to the one here. Like you wouldn't really get anything out of the right side. And right, that's and then on the right join it would be the opposite. Like you would get all, so like if you wanted to get like an inner join would be more for if you just wanted to get, you know, whatever's related to the two. Like if you want to get username, you know, then you would just get username or whatever's linked to username. The left join would be if we wanted to get everything from the table that we mentioned first and not really anything from the table that we mentioned on the other side. So like if you wanted a created date, but you just wanted to kind of link it to a table, if you wanted to create a date from like testing and you wanted to just link it to users, then you would go with the left join if, you know, you had, well, let me try to show you. I don't want to just talk about it. All right, so let's do, again, I don't have any entries here. Let me, I'm just trying to think, because you're not going to see anything unless I put entries in, but I don't want to, I'm just debating, well, we can just delete it. Let's put an entry into the users. Yeah, that's okay. Let's put something in here. Insert. Let's put CD the bookman. Password will just go like, well, we don't want that in there. Don't put that in there. And first name will be my name, last name will be my name, and then we'll do current, and we'll just do that. All right, so we have that in there, right? So now we have this, okay? Again, if we were to do an inner join, let's do an inner join. And let me get my syntax. Where's my syntax? Okay. Inner join on, okay, table 2 join, okay. So if we go select all from testing where, no, and we go inner join, users on, and now at this point you would, right, and at this point you would do the join conditions, which means you'd have to tell it how it looks. Now we don't have to do this, members, and we could just go on users dot username, and we don't have anything because there's nothing. Wait, I don't have a, hold on. I do have. Yeah, I do have it. So it should have worked. Let me just see. I just want to make sure I have my, again, my syntax. I don't usually do these. Right, select. All right, so let's try that again. Let's go select. I guess it won't let me do a select all. It won't let me be lazy. But we can go select yeah, because it's not differentiating. It's like testing dot, so put the table first, put a dot, username, whatever you want, created, and then I want users, username, users, first name. Or actually, let's just do first name. Users dot first name, users dot last name. And from testing. And then it's inner join. Oh yeah, I didn't give it the whole shebang. Inner join And then we got to come up with the tables. We're going to interjoin users. And we want to interjoin it on, right, okay, I didn't put any of that in there. Testing.username equals users.username. So wherever we want to get the username and the created from the testing page, testing table, the first name and the last name from the users table, wherever the usernames in both tables are identical. Wait, which from? Okay. You have in the checking near users on, oh, maybe I don't need this. And there you have it. We have the username, the created, and the first name and the last name. Now, that's an inner join. Oh, I had the thing right here. That's an inner join. So if you look, it returns where you have matching values. If we did a left join, we could then do the select all. So if we were to do like a left join, we can go select all from testing, and then we could do a left join, which means we would get everything from the testing site or the testing page. And we would just base it off of testing.username equals, where testing.username equals users.username. Not unique table alias testing. Wait. Let me go like this. Well, it's not going to show it there. Again, I typically don't do joins myself. Like that's why you have frameworks, because I typically don't do joins myself. But yeah, that doesn't look right. Let me see. Something doesn't look right here. Yeah, let me see how, let me get that syntax. Right, okay, that's what I figured, yeah, left join. On. And then there you would have, as you can see, we have everything from this table based on it just having one matching entry from this one. So as you can see, like everything from the testing table, we have every single entry from the testing table, and then we have just because we have one matching, that's left join. Now if you were to do a right join, and I want to go back, if you were to do a right join, then we would just have one entry because it's based off every entry in the right table. And then if we were to have, and I'm sure cross join is the same. If you did a cross join, it would be everything from everything, but we only have one entry. But if we were to do, yeah, like cross joins are pretty, that's why I never really heard of it, and I never really used a cross join. Again, it's just the syntax. I gotta get the syntax. because we wouldn't be doing it based off anything. We would just kind of just get all of them. And as you can see here, for every one here, we're getting, like, even with the left join and the right join or whatever, we're basing it off of a table, a row name equaling a row name. This is just getting two tables. There's no real point to that. But the reason why, never saw self join. What's that? But the reason why I'm talking about this is because when you are making a site, right, there will be times like, say, for instance, if you were to post something and you wanted to get the person's information, like whenever you post something on Facebook or whatever, and your picture shows up along with your post, everything, there's not one table that's got 20,000 entry or 20,000 rows that says, name, date, created date, whatever, post it. Like, these are all separate tables that then link to one another. And so to move this a little forward or a little deeper, I can go deeper. To go a little deeper, we have, and this is all in MySQL. Now, again, if you were to use this SQL query system, if you were to use this, it would be a little bit different because you would have to do what's called, you would have to use a unique key or a foreign key. And you could easily program foreign keys in the SQL. But a foreign key is an identifier from one table that can be linked to another table. And like I was talking about with relationships, let me get into that now with this. If you were to use the query, you can just say, what's the foreign key, what's the unique key, whatever. If you wanted to go with the PHP MyAdmin, what we would do, and we'll do this later, is we would go to our, which one is it? Is it structure? Yeah. We would go to our structure, and you would see relation view. And what we can do here is we can put in a table here, and we could say like users. And at that point, we could say that on delete, on update, cascade, cascade, and then we can link it to ID, or we can link it to username from tutorial, testing. Well, it would have to be the ID, and that's why the way that these two tables are put together, it wouldn't work. But as you can see here, it says foreign key constraint. And what that means is that you would link these two tables together based on a foreign key, and in this case, the foreign key should be the ID. I mean, it's not. We could make it, but it's not going to work. I mean, like, it will work, but it would work in such a weird way because we have, let me get rid of this. We have a user here that's got the ID of 1, and then we have a username here that has the ID of 13. It would never equate to one another. But like I said, if we go to structure and we go to relations, like I was telling you about, you would put one table name here, which would be kind of like the parent table. And then you would say that on a delete, you could set null, do no action, restrict, whatever, or on delete, you can cascade. What cascade means is if you have, it's hard to kind of show this with my hands, but if you would have a table like users, and then you had a table like posts or whatever that was linked to users, more or less it would be that the users table would have this other table linked to it. And anytime you deleted the users table, if you were to say cascade, then the other table would just automatically delete. And if you had a users, and there's so many different relationships, there's like has one, has many, belongs to, whatever. And we can put all this together later on when we start really doing like, objects and whatever. But I just kind of want to give you an idea of where we're moving and everything like that, and what you can do with MySQL in relation to PHP. If you have like the users table, and it were to have many posts linked to that one user, when you deleted that one user or updated that one username or whatever, it would then cascade to all those other table entry or table entries in that post table linked to that one user. And if you wanted to get the specific information from the user based on the post table or the profiles table, whatever, then what you would do is you would use these joins, and you would get what information you'd want from whatever table you need based on it linking. Again, me telling it to you might not make any sense. You'd have to see it, and you will see it. But we will get into that. I'm just it's almost like I'm warning you ahead of time, because once we start making our site and we start making more tables linked to this user's table and this user's ID, then you'll see how we can create certain functionality and classes or whatever to make it a lot easier for us to just say, hey, I want to get, this user posted some kind of entry. I want to get their picture and their username without having to load it into another table. When we start, like I said, when we start making the site and we start going through certain conventions, like rules of engagement or whatever, with making tables and everything, I'll just explain to you why you don't want to have, let me change this because this isn't good. Why you don't want to have tables that have like 100 entries or 100 rows or whatever. You want to have concise, simple tables that only represent specific things. You want your database to be visually reflective of the way it works in the website. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get in there. But we got a little bit more PHP to do. I'm not going to be here for a couple days, but I really want to work on our class, and I kind of want to put together a validation class so that you can see, because I'm not really showing you how this can work to your advantage throughout the course of the website. So I want to kind of just tweak on some things, and I want to sort of show you how this all becomes one beautiful object. And we haven't even talked about Ajax and asynchronous updates and everything. So we got to do that too. So once we're done with all that, we will start making our site, and then eventually we will be making our own framework that I might actually sign up to GitHub and upload. We'll see how good it is. But I will be gone for a couple of days. I will see you next time.